Japan Station is made possible in part by amazing people like you. If you'd like to make sure that I can keep bringing you more content about Japan, the Japanese culture, and the Japanese language, then consider joining the Patreon over at japankyo.com/Patreon. You can join for as little as $1 a month, and that will get you early access to episodes, plus ad-free versions. I also take one-time donations over on Ko-fi, Venmo, and PayPal. Links are down below.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Japan Station.
Welcome to Japan Station, a production of japankyo.com. This is the podcast where we teach you everything you should know about Japan, plus a few other things. I'm your host, founder of japankyo.com, and the anime linguist on YouTube, Tony R. Vega. And today, I'm joined by my co-host, Miyuki.
Hi, me again.
Hey, always great to have you. And today you're going to be sharing some stories about some recent travels that you had, right?
Yes.
Yes. So as our regular listeners obviously know, we've been doing a series of episodes about Tohoku, the Tohoku region of Japan. We've been talking about the different prefectures and some interesting facts and stories about this area of Japan that I'm going to be visiting in the fall. I'm going to be doing a tandem bicycle ride from the top of Aomori to down to Nihonbashi in Tokyo. And so I'm highlighting Tohoku because there's a lot to talk about and some interesting things there. And today we are talking about Iwate Prefecture.
Yay!
So Iwate, let's see. We've done Aomori, Akita. I talked about Yamagata in a different with a guest, and today's Iwate, and then I think we've got Miyagi and Fukushima left. Is that it?
Yes. Yeah. You're
okay.
Right. Yeah.
Good. All right. So where is Iwate in relation to the other prefectures, Miyuki?
Iwate is on the east side.
Yeah, it is. Good job. Yeah.
Below Aomori, next to Akita, right?
Exactly. You got it.
Yeah.
You got it. Yes. So, Iwate, actually, there's a cape that extends out to the east. That is the easternmost point on Honshu. As you said, it's right under Aomori. Aomori is the top of Honshu. Yes. And don't worry, I was only able to say that off the top of my head because yesterday and today I was reading all about this. So, yeah.
How come you know Japan more than I do, Tony?
What I do is I learn all this stuff before the podcast, so then it sounds like I know it all, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And Iwate is very large. It's I believe the second largest prefecture after Hokkaido. And it's got, much like, the rest of Tohoku, it's known for, being cold and especially the middle areas, like the inland areas, it gets a lot of snow. And it's sparsely populated. There's not that many people there. It's actually the second least dense in population prefecture in Japan, next to Hokkaido, because Hokkaido's so big, right? And there's few people, relatively speaking, so the population density is quite low. But Iwate is also quite large. But it's smaller than Hokkaido, so I guess that's how the math works out. It's just yeah. Morioka is like the city, like the capital and the most famous city. But a lot of I would say probably most of the population is there. But there are, like, when I was reading about this, I saw one video that put it this way: like, Iwate is so large, and I guess you could even say diverse in a way that there's a lot of variation in culture and language, like, across Iwate. So it's difficult to make generalizations about like, oh, everybody in Iwate does it this way or that way, or says this or that, because there's just so much area to Iwate. There's a lot of differences in between the different regions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's also apparently like 5% of the prefecture is like national park. So Iwate, like a lot of other Tohoku areas, a lot of nature, mountains, and the coastline also in Iwate is known is particularly known for various reasons, but it's also like just very extreme, like big cliffs and severe, coastline, and that also has to do with a lot of like the earthquakes and tsunami and all that stuff, and that's another thing that this area is known for. There's been a lot of natural disasters and all that, including the Tohoku Great East Japan earthquake in 2011, which greatly affected this region as well. So that is a kind of very broad overview. We are going to get into a very interesting aspect of Tohoku later in the episode when Miyuki tells us about her visit, which was very recent, like a week ago as of the time of this recording. So we're talking about like middle of April 2026. So she was just there. But before we get to that, let's talk about some fun, just random stuff that I came across. So if you may remember from other episodes, we like to talk about just some random little cultural quirks and food and all that stuff. So let's talk about the language. All right. So we got, there's so much that can be said about the language. Again, Tohoku dialect variation just all over the region. There's no one dialect, and there's overlap, there's differences, but here's a few things that I thought were interesting. The first one here is dakara. And I'm not sure if the intonation it'll be a slightly different. I suspect it is, because a lot of times the intonation compared to the standard dialect is a little bit different. But dakara, apparently, in this, it might not be all across Iwate, but in part of Iwate at least, is the equivalent of a green, like so des. It's like saying so des. So like, yes, that's the case. That is true. But dakara in standard dialect is saying like, and so then,
Or
therefore,
because.
or because, yeah, depending
Uh-huh.
on the context, right?
Yeah.
So this can be quite confusing when like somebody from Iwate uses this with somebody who doesn't speak in the Iwate dialect.
I would probably wait.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
Because I expect something else continues,
yeah.
something else is followed by dakara. So it's like, and then,
Yeah.
and probably he or she is like, yeah, that's it. And there's this awkward moment of, okay.
Yeah. It's like, I can't believe how annoying she is. Oh, and then it's like, no, that's it. Like, I'm agreeing with you.
Very
uh,
weird.
yeah. I read a little comment by somebody from Iwate that basically said like, oh yeah, I was talking to them, and then I said dakara, and then they were like looking at me like puzzled, and then she said, no, that's it. Like, I'm done talking. So, yeah, apparently, sometimes when you grow up in a certain area, you use the local dialect and you don't realize, a few words here
Yeah,
and there are actually part of
yeah,
the dialect. Yeah, so you end up with these funny
yeah.
little differences.
And I've heard it's not just Iwate, it's like
Mhm.
some other areas of Tohoku
Yeah,
people
yeah.
have this kind of dialect there too. So I guess it's a common thing in Tohoku dialect for some reason. I don't
Yeah,
know the
yeah.
reason.
No, yeah. Like I said, there is overlap.
Uh-huh.
Maybe not the entire Tohoku region, but maybe like everybody east of certain mountain range like speaks, uses this term, then you go to the other side of the mountains and they don't say this. Like that's a very
Yeah,
common thing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you said you covered Yamagata in a different episode, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you talked about this in that episode, but Yamagata has a mountain in, and it separates the coast side and like
Yeah,
inland side. So the dialects are not completely different, but like quite different.
yeah. I've heard
And
that.
like the way how we divide Japan in the today's modern sense and call each prefecture or ken, it's like it's like more of like a recent way. And before that, they were divided by again like mountains and rivers and more of like a natural like a geographical
Yeah,
characters.
yeah.
It was separating each land, and people developed their own culture and traditions and of course dialects and stuff. So if we call Iwate as it is, and we say, yeah, but then Iwate dialects are very diverse in Iwate in itself, it's of course different because it was different regions back then.
Exactly. No, very important to point out how like Iwate is a modern thing, right? Like
Hmm.
we're just using these modern names for these regions, but we're talking about tons of little villages and towns that were separated by mountains and rivers, and each area has its own little customs and linguistic things. And so saying like Iwate dialect, like it's kind of a problematic term, but you know it is what it is, right? And so you get, like I said, like you get regions where, like for example, it might be part of Akita and Iwate or something like that, where like they're divided by a certain like geographical thing, and so they share some linguistic similarities,
Hmm.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Here's another one that I came across in a list of like Iwate like expressions. So kami o kezuru. So this oh well,
Ah,
let me explain what it is first. So this means to comb your hair. Kami is like your head hair, and but kezuru literally means sharpen. Like you use this verb when you're talking about like sharpening a pencil. Kezuru.
right.
Now in the general like dialect, kyotsugo, like standard general dialect, you would say like kami o tokasu. Uh, and so if you say kami o kezuru to sharpen your hair to somebody who doesn't speak, like Iwate Tohoku dialect, they look at you weird and go like, wait, what? Why are you sharpening your hair?
Ah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, like to me, I don't know. Maybe it's like English slang coming. Like you want to look sharp, right? So you got to sharpen your hair. You got to comb it. So
Good one.
yeah, it makes sense to me.
Good one. But also, like, kezuru is used, for example, like you said, of course, sharpen your pencil, but also like tsuchi o kezuru or iwa o kezuru, like shave or carve
Right,
stones,
right. Exactly. Yeah.
soil.
Hmm.
I wonder where this kezuru is coming from. Huh.
Uh,
Interesting.
I mean, people in what they just had really stiff hair, I guess, and they had to, really chisel it down. I don't
Okay.
know, but like maybe Kizuru had a slightly different meaning. Like that Kizuru had a slightly different meaning than the modern Kizuru, and then so actually we're thinking about the wrong way. We're assigning the modern meaning of Kizuru to this verb that used to mean something else. I don't know. Like that kind of stuff is totally possible. All right, so let's talk about some food stuff. People love food. I love food. So and actually, Iwate has quite a bit of food stuff to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you had some firsthand experience, so we can get into that too once that topic comes up. But let's begin with bread. So
Yay.
we talked about bread in the Aomori episode with the Igirisu toasto. That was really fun, and if you haven't listened to that, check that out. But Iwate has their own type of bread that they're known for. This one is called fukuda pan. Fukuda pan. So
Pan.
pan is the Japanese word for well, it's originally from Portuguese, but the Japanese word for a bread. So fukuda bread. So this is a very popular type of koppe-pan. And koppe-pan is like a bread roll. It's often described as being in the shape of like a hot dog bun. And it's white, fluffy bread and often has some kind of filling in it. Although, often it depends, but there's also just plain koppe-pan. And actually, it's often seen in like school lunches, not just in Iwate, but like across Japan. I think it's quite well often seen there. I'm sure I've had it in Japanese like elementary school lunch when I've eaten it at some point. So this is this type of koppe-pan that is beloved by the people of Iwate. They love it. Like this is like they're like if I go back home to Iwate, like I need to have some fukuda pan. Like this is people love it. And so this was created by this guy. Well, his last name was Fukuda.
Tomekichi Fukuda.
Okay, thank you. Tomekichi Fukuda.
That's it. Yeah, on the note. Yeah.
Yeah. So so was it he founded this company in 48, or he went off on his own in 1948. He studied under Kenji Miyazawa, and we'll talk about him a little bit later. And he studied yeast, like I guess he did research into yeast, and so he used those skills to start making bread. And then he started selling in like schools, and it became popular. And now you can go to their headquarters in this area called Nagata, and you can get it directly from them. And there's so many varieties, like just like we talked about the yeast toast. There's so many. I think there's more varieties here potentially. And you can pick, like, I want this thing with this thing, like miso with like some kind of meat or something, or you can pick the sweet ones. And according to one article I saw, like there, in theory, like there's 2,000 possible combinations.
Oh my.
Yeah. I mean, because I don't know, they have maybe like 100 different things, and then you can combine them together. And so just mathematically, it's theoretically possible to get 2,000 different combinations. And they're all quite cheap. Like they're like, a couple hundred yen, 300 yen, 400 yen, something, like, depending on the filling and all that. And the most popular one is azuki, the bean paste with butter. And this was like one of those accidents, like peanut butter and chocolate. Oh my God, no, this is amazing. Like it's like this discovery that people didn't know about apparently. But according to the story, the current the grandson of the founder, his mother in the 1970s was there in the shop, and then some person ordered I want azuki and I want a butter of these fukuda pan, and she made a mistake and made an azuki and butter single bread instead of two different ones. She combined them into one, and a miracle, a legend was born that day, I guess. And it became their most popular version of this fukuda pan. Yeah, so you can go there today. I believe this fukuda pan like main location is fairly near the station. You probably could walk there if I saw correctly. So it is
in Morioka, you mean?
Yeah, in Morioka. Yeah, thank you for Morioka station. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But this is available all over the place, probably like supermarkets and schools as well. And yeah, I think like Iwate has like 1 million something population, and they sell like at least 10,000 every day, and when it's very popular, like 20,000. So yeah, they sell a lot of these.
Wow.
Yeah, fukuda pan. So that's something to try out next time you're in Iwate. And again, I'm sure even like convenience stores have this. Like it shouldn't be that hard to find. But I guess you didn't have fukuda pan this time.
No, we should have done this episode before I went.
I know, right?
Oh, I missed them.
All right. Well, I'll try to have some when I'm
okay.
I don't know my route yet, but hopefully. regardless of whether you're going to be visiting the Tohoku area or anywhere else during your next trip to Japan, it can be helpful to have a phone number while you're there. Yes, an actual Japanese phone number. And one way in which you can do this is by signing up for the mobile voice and data SIM card. That's MOBAL. And if you use my affiliate link, mobile.com/TonyJapan, you'll get 10% off and you'll support what I do here at Japan Station. That gets you an actual Japanese phone number you can use to make hotel reservations, restaurant reservations, sign up for those lotteries to buy Pokemon cards, because sometimes you need actual Japanese phone numbers. That can help you do that. So again, mobile.com/TonyJapan, link in the show notes. Now we got to talk about, really, when people talk about Iwate food, I think the main thing that they talk about are noodles.
The three great noodles,
The
right?
three great noodles of Iwate, yes. Well, specifically Morioka. Okay.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a couple other areas that also play into this noodle thing, and let's start with owanko soba or wanko soba. Yeah. So, Yuki, what's wanko soba?
Wanko soba is.
It's not puppy soba.
I didn't think about it, but you're right. It's not wanko as puppy.
Puppy, yeah, wanko can mean puppy, but no, it does not.
Doggos. So wanko soba is, so you sit at a table and there are like hundreds of small wan, means like a small bowl.
Yeah.
And the server or people at the restaurant comes you and just keep filling small portion of soba noodles into your bowl.
Yeah.
And you just literally have to like chunk them up.
Yeah. They're like, I've never been to one of these places, but the way I've seen on TV and YouTube and read about this, they're like bite size almost. Like it's like hitokuchi, just you can pop it into your mouth. Just one clump of food.
Yep. But then, so like at the end, the amount you eat is still a lot, but like it's not extremely significant amount of noodles. But then the way how it looks is just, I don't know. It's something.
It is a very it's great for social media. Like,
exactly. Exactly. Because it just looks great.
Yeah. Like I was watching, little videos and shorts and full length videos about this and news as well. People often end up eating over 100 bowls. So you can imagine like it's surrounded by over 100 bowls of this good picture.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, soba buckwheat noodles. There's a little bit of soup there. They recommend that if you really want to eat more noodles, don't get full on the soup. So you can, usually there's, I believe like there's like an extra place where you can kind of dump the soup so that you don't get full on the soup. And then you can just, keep eating the noodles. And, as you said, they keep refilling it. And then, when you're done, you have to like put a lid on the little bowl that you have. And
it's also, it has an aspect of a competition.
Yeah.
So what I heard is like if you finish, for example, 100 bowls of wanko soba, you can have a, how do you say? Okay, hyoshoujo? How do you call that?
I guess it would be like a little certificate kind of thing.
Certificate kind of, or like a word kind of thing.
Yeah, like at that specific restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, at that restaurant, like this person finished 101, small bowls, kind of like.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And so the person I know tried that, and she just finished. She is like a young lady. She finished 100 bowls, and she had this. She received this certificate kind of thing with a picture,
But
So
is that this trip that you went on? You guys went to a wanko soba place?
no, we couldn't because,
Oh,
like
okay.
you said, it's specifically famous in Morioka,
Hmm.
and we'll get back to this later. But we didn't go to Morioka this time, so
Right, right, right. Okay, okay.
there wasn't any place,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
So, yeah, this is a Morioka thing. Although, like, I saw a news report fairly recently that a wanko soba place opened up in Shinjuku, in the Kabukicho area.
Oh,
And this place is, I think, a little bit different from most wanko soba places. Maybe there's something like this in Iwate, but it's like a kaiten sushi, like a conveyor belt sushi, where the
oh,
wanko soba is in bowls already, and it's rotating like on a conveyor belt, and so you just keep taking it from the conveyor belt, and you can. I think there's like a 40-minute course, and I think there's a shorter course as well, and so you can just keep eating during those 40 minutes all the wanko soba that you want to eat.
see,
So
like how human beings can be creative.
yeah, yeah, it's
Never really thought about adapting the idea of rotating sushi to wanko soba.
yeah, rotate conveyor belt wanko soba. So that's a thing in Shinjuku. You can
Ah,
look that up, in case you can't get to Iwate. Um, but as for like the origin of this custom, like so many things, when something gets popular, what happens? Like two different places start to argue about like where it's from. We've talked about this before.
oh yeah, everywhere,
Yeah,
at
well,
any time in the
Hiroshima and
history.
Nagoya with the morning thing is the last time we talked about this. But
Hmm.
um, so basically, Hanamaki and Morioka argue about this apparently. Uh,
Okay,
yeah, so
fair enough.
yeah. So there's various theories, stories about like the origin of this. Like one is there was some kind of festival. And this guy, like a bunch of people showed up more than they anticipated. So all they had was like these little bowls of soba, and it was so popular, and they kept eating the soba, and so that became a thing. Um, like other one, this is from Morioka. Or no, yeah, no. So okay, so the lord of Morioka Castle, the Nambu, I forgot which one, the 27th Nambu is the last name, right? So this guy, he's going somewhere, and there's even like multiple versions of this story. Like one version is he just went to some random place, and all they had was like the soba, and so they give him in this little dish, and they were all like embarrassed that this was going to be like not fancy enough for him, but then he eats the soba in the little dish and he loved it so much so he kept eating more and more and more. Um, the other version is that this Nambu guy, the 27th Nambu guy, he goes down into the Hanamaki area and then they're going to entertain him. And again, like they're kind of embarrassed about, oh, this very like normal people food, this soba, right? And so among other dishes, they include this one little dish of soba, and then he ends up eating it and liking it, and so they keep bringing him more, and he wants more and more and more, and so then that's the Morioka. Like, oh, actually, like it was this guy from Morioka. He discovers it on the way to Edo. He was heading there. Okay, and then Hanamaki's side says something about like this politician who would always celebrate his mom's birthday, and so he invited everybody to come to the birthday party, and then him and his wife they prepare the soba, and then that became a popular thing. So I don't know. Like it seems I don't believe any of these stories.
I guess this politician story is from Morioka.
Yeah. That's the Morio. Wait, was that the? I think that was the Hanamaki theory.
Now, Hanamaki theory is the Lord of
Oh,
Nambu, like the
yeah.
27th Nambu. Is he stopped by at the Hanamaki Castle?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. You're right.
I think that's
That's the
the
Hanamaki.
story
Yeah.
that claims Hanamaki is the
Right.
origin. The other one is because the politician was from Morioka. He was born in Morioka City. I think
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
that's what it is. Yeah.
So yeah, both wanko soba, you can get it in Hanamaki and in Morioka both. Nowadays, like we said earlier, Morioka is known for these three noodles, and the wanko soba is one of them. So Morioka is probably more well known for wanko soba, but yeah, there are claims to wanko soba in Hanamaki as well.
I
Either
see.
either way, I'm sure it's good. I have not had it, but I mean, it sounds great to me. And eating a bunch of food, I'm always for that. So give that a shot if you're in the Iwate area, or if you go to Shinjuku and you want conveyor belt wanko soba.
Ah.
All right. The next one of these dishes is jajamen. Jajamen. So again, very strongly associated with Morioka. This is like it's basically like a maze soba, or kind of maybe even like I wouldn't, yeah, maze soba, I guess, is a good description. Basically, like, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So maze soba literally means mixed soba, although this isn't soba noodles. They just call, so soba is a older uses of the word soba actually refers to like things like ramen or just like normal wheat noodles. That's a more old-fashioned use that just remains within the Japanese vocabulary. Like things like abura soba, maze soba, and they're not actually like soba as we were talking about wanko soba, but the word is used to refer to these things as even though they're not technically soba.
Never wondered, but you're right.
Yeah. I've
I
wondered
was
about
just
this.
accepting the vocabulary as
Chuka
they
soba.
are, but you're right. Yeah.
Like this is old language. Like chuka soba is ramen. It literally means like Chinese soba, but
Noodle.
it's just that back in the day they used soba to refer to like everything apparently.
Yeah, everything in the noodle-ish shape were soba.
Yeah, I wonder if they used to say Italia soba for like spaghetti. Like I don't know. I've never heard that. I don't think so.
But possible.
It's
Who
possible.
knows?
Yeah, I mean, some oji-chan, some grandpa is like, "Oh, that fancy Italia soba. I don't get it. It's totally possible."
Okay, just get back to jajamen thing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So jajamen, basically mixed noodles, is literally like maze soba. It's basically Iwate's take on that style, where it's in this case it's not ramen noodles, it's more like udon noodles. They're kind of like flat-ish. And then you'll have like the miso and vegetables or whatever, like meat on top, and then you mix it up and you eat it, and it's great. And it's a relatively simple thing, but I love this kind of stuff. So I haven't had Iwate jajamen, but I if I can, I will.
I think they also like two different kinds. That one is Morioka jajamen.
Mm-hmm.
And the other is a Hanamaki jajamen.
Oh, there you go. Everybody's got a,
There you go.
Yeah. So
I don't know what the difference is.
I don't know either, but I Hanamaki apparently also has its 3 noodles, huh?
I guess
at least 2,
because I can share one new noodle that is originally from Hanamaki, so I can share this later.
Okay. All right. Well, so that's jajamen. Let's finish up these 3 noodles, and then we'll get into your interesting travels in Iwate. So, okay. So last of these 3 noodles is reimen. Reimen. So reimen is originally from Korean cuisine. Unfortunately, I don't know the Korean pronunciation, but it's the cold noodles that you get in Korean cuisine. I love them. They're great. I've had them, here in Hawaii and in Korea. I did have some in Korea when I went. They're great. And but Morioka specifically, they have their own version of ramen. The noodles are slightly different. The toppings are different. I've never had Morioka ramen. I'm sure it's great. This actually originates from a Korean immigrant. And so he opened up shop with his, Korean food post-war. And he introduced ramen, his version of ramen there, and it took off. And then from there, other shops started adopting it in their own yakiniku shops, their Korean barbecue shops. And then it became like Morioka ramen, like the big thing. So apparently it all goes back to this one Korean immigrant. And I should say his name, which is his Korean name is Yang Yong Cho, Cheo. Okay, so I'm sorry, my Korean is like I only studied it for like 1 month, and yeah, then I gave up. So, and his Japanese name, because at the time, you had to take on the Japanese name, is Aoki Teruhito. Aoki Teruhito. Okay.
Teruhito. Okay.
Yeah.
Aoki Teruhito.
Yeah. So, and then in 54, he opened his yakiniku shop, and that's where it all starts from there. Now, people in Iwate, or at least Morioka, but maybe, I'm sure outside of Morioka as well, they love this ramen so much where like there are people that go to yakiniku, these Korean barbecue places. They don't even eat the meat there. They just go for the ramen. Okay. And apparently, according to videos and these articles that I read about this, it is customary for these yakiniku shops to ask the customer before they order anything. Like you sit down and they go like, "Do you want me to turn on the grill? Hiotsukemasu ka? Like, should I turn on the grill?" Because it is so common for people to not even like cook meat, to not get the barbecue and just get the ramen, that they don't want to turn on the meat. I mean, the grill, if they're not going to, grill anything, they're just going to get the ramen. So there's no need to turn on the grill. So the server asked them this. "Do you want me to turn on the grill?"
You know what, Tony?
Yeah.
So my friend and I went to Hanamaki last week, as you just mentioned.
Yeah.
We reserved a yakiniku restaurant in Hanamaki.
Yeah.
Over the phone. When I called them, the person, he asked me, would you like upstairs, like a second floor or the first floor? And I asked him, this is my first time going there, so what's the difference? So if you want to do the yakiniku, it's only at the second floor. The first floor doesn't even have grills at the table.
There you go.
I was like, oh, okay. We would like to try yakiniku a little bit as well, so probably the second floor.
Yeah.
I was laughing so hard inside.
Yeah, a Korean barbecue place where half of the store doesn't have grills. Like, that's absurd, right?
Yep. So, that's what it is.
You verified my information. Thank you. Like apparently people from Iwate, when they go to other yakiniku places outside of Iwate and people don't ask them, the server doesn't ask them if they're going to turn on the grill or not, like that's weird to them, right? Because they're just used to it. And then when a yakiniku place doesn't have ramen, which is common outside of Iwate, like they're like, what, why?
That's the main thing of a yakiniku restaurant.
Yeah.
That's the ramen.
Yeah.
The other way around.
I read his article. He was saying like, it's a good shime. So a good shime is like the thing that you eat at the end of the meal, not dessert, but like, a lot of times it'll be like noodle stuff that you eat at the end of a meal, like these kind of you go out to a party and everybody eats a whole bunch of stuff, and then at the end you order a shime. Often it's like a bowl of ramen or something like that. Shime literally means to close, so to close the meal. And so for him, ramen, like you close the meal with the ramen, you have your meat or whatever, and you got to have that ramen at the end of the meal. So it's a big deal in Morioka. And again, it's slightly different than the Korean version.
They are serious. They're really serious about ramen.
Yes. So I love that. I Hiotsukemasu, and you basically, it went beyond just asking. It's like we just built two different areas to the restaurant. So, for all the people that aren't going to grill meat, you can just have your ramen and not bother anybody else. Okay, so let's get into your travels in Iwate. Hey guys, I lied. So I know I've been saying that we were going to talk about Miyuki's trip to Iwate later in this episode. Actually, we're going to do it next time because we ended up talking so much that I decided it would be better to split this into 2 episodes. And Miyuki's trip was really unique because she didn't just go to Morioka. She ended up having a spooky and scary trip because she went to a couple of areas that are known for folklore and fairy tales and yokai and that kind of stuff. So really interesting trip. Come back next time to hear all about it. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, leave a rating and a review. Help the show out so that I can reach more people. All right, guys. See you next time.